Hello Linux fans, Rob here and welcome to Linux Quest. It's been an exciting day at Linux Quest today. So at lunchtime I realized that Solus OS has a new release, a version 1.2.1 Shannon, and while I'm excited that they have a new release with updated kernel and updates to the Budgie desktop environment, I'm more excited that they have listed the Mate desktop as an option now for Solus OS. So I want to share that with you today and take a look at that. But before we do that, let's jump in here. I should have had that open and ready. Let's jump in and take a look. And I want to focus here not on just the changes to Solus OS, but really I want to focus in on the Mate desktop experience. So I, for one, think that this is a good option and a good choice by the Solus team. The Mate desktop environment has a large following. If you take a look at Ubuntu Mate, a large user base there and a good implementation. And I just think that this will broaden the user base for Solus OS. I myself, if we're given an option between Budgie and Mate, I would choose Mate for several reasons. I have nothing to say bad about the Budgie desktop experience. I like the Raven sidebar and some of the other things they're doing within Budgie. I just prefer Mate. So I think would be a example of someone who would maybe take a second look at Solus OS now because they have the Mate desktop environment. Alright, so let's scroll down here and take a look at a few things. So they state here that they are really happy to introduce Mate into the Solus family, and they go on to say that they want to provide a stellar out-of-the-box experience for someone coming from Budgie over to Solus OS Mate. And they go on to say that they have shipped exclusive artwork provided by Marius Nestor. Now, I'm not familiar with his work, but I certainly do want to take a look at it, and we will see what wallpapers and things that we have here available. They also go on to talk about, some of their reasons for including Mate version. Again, it's version 1.16, and I think a large part of that has to do with things being GTK3 based, and I think that again this will allow them to reach out to a broader user base. Now they wanted to make sure that the user of the Budgie desktop version of Solus OS could move over to the Mate version of Solus OS and still feel like they're using Solus OS as a whole. And one of the things you'll find about Solus OS is that the theming and the integration and the overall UI feel, it's very solid. They have focused on a lot of small details so that throughout the OS there's a very, and I use the word cohesive a lot, but there's a very cohesive feel to Solus OS as a whole. And I think they've nailed it with the Mate integration. So they go on to talk about that here. So for example, in the control center, you'll see the control center looks, I'm going to say, identical to the control center that you would find under Budgie desktop. They also talk about a new addition here. They are calling it the Mate Notification Theme Solus, and it's designed to be clean and modern and familiar to their existing users. I haven't seen any updates or anything pop up to show me that notification bar yet, but here from the photo it looks like it matches the rest of the theme. Let's move on down here also and talk about some other things involving the Software Center. So there are some updates to the Software Center. I believe there is a broader range of software choices now, and I just want to speak to that for a minute. So with Solus OS, you do not have a selection of software that is as large as, say, the Ubuntu based OSs. But what you do get with Solus are very well tested software programs that are shown to work very well within Solus. So it's up to you to decide if you're someone who only uses a few select pieces of software to get done what you need to get done. Then I would really say take a look at this, because the software that's introduced into the Solus Software Center has been tested. It's been tested to work with not only the OS, but it's been tested from a standpoint of security. It's been tested from the standpoint of stability and dependencies and things like that. So I think your user experience with the software coming from the software center, installed from the software center, is going to be a very positive experience. That is something that I know that they are ever expanding and working on, so you'll have to make that choice yourself. Now let's also talk about some other things here. There is an addition here with the software update center, so that the notification that you will see is has been updated, and you can change the frequency, so that could be every hour, every day, or weekly. You can also disable checking updates over a metered connection, and you can also choose the type of updates you wish to be notified about. So you could choose all security updates only, or security and core updates. So nice additions there. Also, when we're talking about software, there is a larger selection now of third-party software. So you'll see like Android Studio, Plex, Slack, Google Chrome Beta selections now that weren't there before. So that's nice to see. And then let's go ahead and talk a little bit about some under the hood things. So again, stable kernel 4.8.2. And then let's move on down here. So this is good to see. NVIDIA GXL driver support has been updated to version 370.28. So those of you with GTX 970 cards, for example, upgraded support there. OpenGL 4.5, and then RADV. I'm not really familiar with RADV. I don't have anything with Radeon needing Radeon driver support, but so it's open source Radeon Vulkan driver is now supported, as well as SWR driver. And then let you read through most of this yourself, but those people out there with Microsoft Surface Pro 3s, you now have touchscreen support under Solus OS. So if you've been waiting for that, it is here. You can wipe that Windows right off of that Surface and install Solus OS on there and have touchscreen support. So great to see those changes. Let's go ahead and pop over here and take a look at some things. Again, I think that the Solus team nailed the integration of the Mate desktop into their OS, and you still feel like you're within Solus. And I'll give you an example of that. We're going to go over here to Places, and you see the theming is very consistent. It looks like the same colors and everything that you would see under the Budgie desktop. Now I'm going to throw this out. These are ARC icons, but for whatever reason, this is like the first time I've seen this icon set in this light. It looks striking. I mean, it's very professional looking. The font rendering is really excellent, and it's like the first time I've seen this before, even though I've seen it before. So it's hard to explain. Maybe it's the color tone between the shade of blue and the theming throughout Solus OS, this gray theme. Maybe that's it. Maybe the combination of the two, just it looks new to me. It looks clean and fresh. Anyway, job well done there. And again, the font rendering looks extremely nice. So whatever settings they have in place there, that's working. So that looks really good. This is, I believe, Kaja. Yep, so Kaja 1.16, which is a very capable file manager. It offers enough for a power user, and you can simplify things down, removing menus and things like that if you want to just keep things looking simple. So nice work there. This is a very minimal install. It was under 1 GB, so you're not going to see a lot of applications pre-installed. So under Office, there's no LibreOffice, but you can install that. We're going to take a look at that. Under Internet, you've got Firefox as default, Thunderbird, very limited software here, which is fine by me. Again, I like that it's a light install as far as the software is concerned. VLC was there by default. I installed Simple Screen Recorder and then Rhythmbox, so it's, you know, that's pretty well it. Your basics under accessory, screenshot tools, things like that. Now, what you do see added here that you don't, you will not find in the Solus Budgie install is the Mate search tool, as well as a few other Mate specific tools such as Disk Usage Analyzer, System Monitor, Mate Terminal, and that looks like that's it for the Mate tools. Now I like this, and this is pretty well your default Mate layout here. I like that you see highlight in light blue there as you scroll across, this kind of gives you kind of that tab feel, if you will. But it's a simple, very clean, smooth way to interact with your desktop. And then under System, this is again a fairly typical layout that you will find in Mate itself. So you go to Preferences, and there you'll find Hardware. And a lot of what you see listed here, you're going to see in Control Center. And so speaking of Control Center, let's go ahead and take a look. So here you see this looks, I'm going to say, almost identical to the Control Center that you would see in the Budgie desktop version. So great to see that. That just gives you the feel that yes, you are in Solus OS. And so again, some of these settings here are redundant as to what you would see in the drop down list here, which is just fine. No problem with that whatsoever. So under Appearance, let's go in and take a look here. So you've got Arc Darker under Window Border, Arc Icons, and then the Breeze icon, or the Breeze pointer icon, which I always appreciate. I think that's a very attractive cursor icon there. So very nice indeed. Alright, so we talked some about software. Let's just take a look at Software Center. And again, this launches and looks just like Software Center in Solus Budgie. So again, for that Budgie user who says, hey, I want to try something new, I love Solus, but I want to try something new, you're still going to feel like you're within Solus OS. That was their goal, and again, I think they totally achieved that. So let's just take a look here at some of the categories. So you've got desktop software and theming, gaming, multimedia and graphics, internet software, office software, programming languages, security software, and system software. And then what you have under these main categories are subcategories. So for the most part, this is an effective software center. You're able to drill down, and so if we wanted to say get additional desktop fonts, pretty good selection here. Let's see if some of these will stand out. Let's see, Nodo, Roboto, Droid, Font Awesome. So, and then the free TrueType fonts for Indian languages, Arabic, things like that. So pretty good selection there. And let's look at third party. So again, Android Studio, several options here: dev version of Chrome, beta version of Chrome, the Google Talk plugin, IDEA, the Opera browser, and Plex Media Server. So some welcome additions there. You can also go in and see what packages are installed. And then we have here updates. So let's just do a quick check. There was nothing when I first installed this. So, again, if the software is available within Budgie OS that allows you to have a complete system and be able to do everything you want to do, I certainly would recommend taking a look at this. And I, for one, again, I'm very happy to see the Mate desktop environment here. This kind of pulls me more into the direction of Solus OS, actually, if if I were being completely forthright about it. And for me, again, I need to spend more time looking at the software options that are available. I don't believe so. For example, InSync. Oh, I do remember one that was a welcome addition. So if we go to Office software, which nothing is pre-installed, I was happy to see. Where is it? Let me go back. Let's just do a quick search. Now, alright, so I'm puzzled. I got all excited because WPS Office, I thought, was available. And now I do not see it here. Okay, I'm going to have to look into that. So I was all excited that WPS Office was available. I'm going to go back and take a look at that. Let's go into Settings. We've got all the updates. Automatically check for updates every hour. Alright. Well, let me back up on that. But anyway, so again, that's something that you're going to have to figure out for yourself. I know that they're always adding software to their software center, and so you know, that's a point of a decision that you can make. I hope this helps. I'm really excited that they decided to go this direction, and so you know, let me know your thoughts here. If you appreciate what they've done, I'm certainly sure that they would be glad to hear from you as well. So anyway, hope this helps, and check it out. We will talk to you later.